The CR-V's been the default family SUV for years, and everybody's uncle or neighbor seems to have owned one at some point. But with the 2025 model, the real question is whether Honda's still leading the pack, or if they're just cashing in on the badge, and I've got the straight scoop on both sides of that. Hey guys, this is Scott from CarLandTV, and it's time to slide into the driver's seat, because today, we're going to see if the 2025 Honda CR-V is still the family SUV champ, or if Honda's just milking the name at this point. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now let's get back into it. CR-V's reputation and standing in 2025. I've been in this game long enough to tell you the Honda CR-V is basically the default setting for American families. You want a reliable, easy-to-drive SUV that isn't going to break the bank? 9 times out of 10, somebody points straight to the CR-V. Everybody's neighbor, cousin, or coworker has owned one at some point, and there's a reason it's always one of the best sellers in the compact SUV crowd. Now here's the thing. Honda hasn't had to reinvent this rig to keep it on top. For 2025, it's still sitting at number 1 in the rankings. Car and Driver threw it on their 1-0 best list again, slapped the editor's choice badge on it, and even with fresh competition like the Mazda CX-50 or Ford Bronco Sport, the CR-V keeps holding its ground. Why? Because it's not trying to be fancy or wild, it just nails the basics: roomy interior, strong safety suite, good fuel economy, and a smooth ride. That said, I'll be honest, it's not the most exciting thing on 4 wheels. If you want off-road chops or sharp driving dynamics, you're better off looking at a Bronco Sport or a Mazda. But if your main priority is hauling the kids, loading up for Costco, or just having something that'll run for 200,000 miles without much fuss, the CR-V is still the safe bet. Honda built its rep on that formula, and in 2025, they're not messing with it. What's new for 2025? So here's the deal. If you're expecting some big shakeup on the 2025 CR-V, you're not going to find it. Honda didn't change a damn thing this year, and honestly, that's not always a bad move. The 6th generation came out in 2023, so this thing is still pretty fresh. Instead of tweaking stuff just for the sake of headlines, Honda basically said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You've still got the same trim lineup. The gas-only side is LX, EX, and EXL, and if you want a hybrid, you're looking at Sport, Sport L, and Sport Touring. That's where Honda's clearly putting their chips, too. The hybrids are the ones everybody's recommending because you get better mileage and just a little more power compared to the base 1.5 turbo. Pricing runs from about $31.5 for the LX all the way up to just under $40 for a Sport Touring hybrid, depending on how you spec it. So yeah, it's not bargain basement, but it's still priced right in the heart of the compact SUV market. Bottom line, 2025 is a carryover year. Nothing new, no gimmicks, no flashy redesign. If you were already eyeing a CR-V, you're getting the same proven formula with a choice between gas and hybrid. If you were hoping for a plug-in or something wild, well, you're not getting it this year. Powertrain and performance. Every CR-V comes with one of 2 setups, and it all depends on which trim you pick. The gas-only models, that's LX, EX, and EXL, run a 1.5-liter Turbo 4. It makes 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque, hooked to a CVT. You can get it in front-wheel or all-wheel drive. It's fine for daily driving, but don't expect it to light up the tires. 0 to 60 in our testing came in around 8.1 seconds, which is a little slower than some rivals. The CVT also tends to drone when you really lean on it, and customers notice that when they take it on a test drive. Now, if you want a little more muscle, the hybrids are where it's at. Sport, Sport L, and Sport Touring trims all come with the 2-liter 4 paired to a 2-motor hybrid system. That combo bumps power up to 204 horsepower. It's still not sporty in the way a Mazda CX-50 feels, but it's smoother, quieter, and it's quicker than the base engine when you need to merge or pass on the highway. You can also spec hybrid trims with all-wheel drive, which makes them a better year-round option in snow states. One thing worth pointing out is that towing is limited across the board. Honda rates the CR-V for just 1,500 pounds, so we're talking small trailers, a couple of jet skis, or a lightweight utility setup. If you need real towing capacity, this isn't the SUV. But if what you want is a balanced daily driver that doesn't feel sluggish and keeps fuel bills in check, the hybrid trims are the smart buy. Interior and practicality. Step inside the 2025 CR-V, and you'll see what Honda does best: clean and functional without overcomplicating things. The dash has that honeycomb trim running across it, hiding the vents in a way that actually looks sharp in person. You sit in a driving position that feels natural, not too high, not too low. And Honda reshaped the front seats a couple of years back to cut down on fatigue on longer drives. I've taken these on 2-hour highway stretches, and you don't climb out feeling beat up. Space is where this SUV really earns its keep. Rear legroom sits at a touch over 41 inches, and that's class-leading. Adults actually fit back there without complaining. Cargo is another strong point, with 39 cubic feet behind the second row and almost 77 cubes when you fold the seats. That's enough room to haul a Costco run, sports gear, or camping bins without playing Tetris. The load floor is adjustable too, so you can drop it down for taller items. Build quality is what I'd call solid Honda. Nothing squeaks, nothing rattles, everything fits right. Is it flashy? Not at all. The Mazda CX-50 or a Hyundai Tucson will give you more eye candy inside. But the CR-V feels like it's built to last, not just to wow you on the test drive. So yeah, the interior doesn't scream luxury, but it's practical, durable, and roomy. If you're buying for family life or just want something that makes sense day in and day out, this cabin hits the mark. Tech, infotainment, and safety. Here's where Honda keeps it simple but still covers the bases. The lower trims, LX and EX, come with a 7-inch touchscreen. It's not huge, but it gets the job done. And you still get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wired in. Step up to the EXL or any of the hybrid sport trims, and you move up to the 9-inch screen. That one brings wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, plus wireless charging and extra USB-C ports in the back for the kids' iPads. It's not the flashiest system compared to Hyundai or Kia, but it's easy to use and doesn't lag. The gauge cluster is half digital, half analog. You've got a regular speedometer and a 7-inch digital display that shows trip info, driver aids, or hybrid system data if you're in one of the sport models. Nothing overwhelming, just clean and straightforward. Now, safety. This is where Honda packs value. Every single CR-V gets Honda Sensing Standard. That means collision mitigation, braking, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and even a driver attention monitor. You also get a rear seat reminder and hill descent control, which is new to this generation. Crash ratings back it up too. 5 stars from NHTSA and top marks from IIHS, depending on trim and headlights. So no, the tech isn't luxury level, and the infotainment won't wow your friends, but it's functional, it's safe, and Honda put the right features in the right trims. You're not driving off the lot with a bare-bones SUV, even at the base level. The cost of driving a CR-V. Now, let me talk about numbers, because that's what makes or breaks a deal for a lot of buyers. The gas-only CR-V with the 1.5 turbo pulls 28 miles per gallon in the city and 34 miles per gallon on the highway if you stick with front-wheel drive. Go all-wheel drive and it dips a touch, but not by much. In real-world testing, the all-wheel drive EXL, we had averaged 31 miles per gallon on the highway, which is right in line with what Honda claims. Not bad at all for a roomy SUV. The hybrids are the fuel sippers of the bunch. Depending on trim, you're looking at roughly 40 miles per gallon combined, and that's a big deal if you're putting miles on every week. Towing is where the CR-V shows its limits. Honda rates all trims for 1,500 pounds max. That's fine for a lightweight utility trailer, some bikes, or a pair of jet skis. But don't plan on pulling a camper. If you need more muscle, you're shopping in the wrong segment. Now, warranty. Honda keeps it pretty standard. 3 years or 36,000 miles bumper to bumper and 5 years or 60,000 miles on the powertrain. The nice extra is they've added complimentary maintenance for the first year or 12,000 miles, which covers oil changes and basic service. It's not as long as Toyota's free plan, but at least it's something. When you roll it all together, the CR-V doesn't have headline-grabbing perks, but the costs are predictable. And the fuel economy, especially on the hybrids, makes it easy to live with. You're not going to be surprised at the pump, and you're not going to get hammered on maintenance. That's what buyers want. So what's my verdict? Here's the straight truth. The 2025 CR-V is still one of the safest bets in the compact SUV game. Honda didn't mess with the formula, and for a lot of folks, that's a win. You get a roomy cabin with nearly 77 cubic feet of space when the seats are down, class-leading rear legroom, and fuel economy that's competitive or flat-out excellent if you go hybrid. Safety is standard across the board, crash scores are strong, and resale value stays high. That's the kind of stuff families care about when they're thinking long-term. But let's not sugarcoat the weak spots. That 1.5 turbo is fine for daily commuting, but it's sluggish compared to a lot of rivals. 8 seconds to 60 isn't exactly exciting, and the CVT gets noisy if you put your foot down. The interior? Solidly built, but styling is bland next to a Mazda CX-50 or even a Hyundai Tucson. And if towing is on your checklist, 1,500 500 pounds max is barely more than a small utility trailer. So who should buy this thing? Anyone who wants peace of mind, reliability, and predictable ownership without drama. If you want excitement, off-road chops, or flashy tech, you're better off shopping elsewhere. For everybody else, the CR-V is still a smart buy in 2025. It may not wow you on the lot, but it'll win you over once you live with it day in and day out. That's why this SUV keeps its spot at the top of the charts.